I found Fiona's a very skilled therapist and she's got a lot of knowledge about all sorts of things.
Yeah, she taught me a lot, keep out of trouble and all that, so I used to be a troublemaker, now I'm not. But yeah, she proper made me a different person.
I think if you've got anything you want to talk over that's difficult, Fiona is an excellent person to speak to. She's very knowledgeable. And with the animals here as well, it gives you comfort and calming atmosphere while you're discussing difficulties.
Right, both cameras recording. I was a young girl in South Norwood who had, pet dog. I had no idea. And I fell madly in love, for my mental health being, I fell madly in love with horses. So as soon as I was of an age where I could afford to, I had my own horse. And then it sort of snowballed from there. I would say I started with having an affection for animals when I was very young with my horse. Best friend in the world. So I went and did a psychotherapy degree and decided that I would use my background with all the animals and start a therapy farm. I always had the intention of having a therapy farm, so I always had the idea in my head that's why I went to university and did the psychotherapy course, so that I had some qualification to go with that. I am a 52-year-old lady who has worked for the ambulance service for 20 years. A few years ago I decided I wanted to retrain, so I decided that working as I did with so many mental health problems at work with the ambulance service, that I wanted to specialise in something like that.
She's a paramedic as well, which helps because with my physical disability she understands that. Yes, I use a wheelchair because I've had a neurological condition over many years, which started when I was a teenager and early 20s. So I've been very limited during my life and housebound for many years.
I was a single parent with 2 children, and for my children it worked extremely well to have that release here. They could come here and they could spend time with their animals, and it just helped ease those troubles that teenagers have, and especially from a single family. And the more I noticed that people wanted to spend time here when we weren't doing any therapy, just spending time, I realised how beneficial it was.
Should we catch them?
We have an autistic unit come from a school, and they come once a week for 6 weeks, and they're all ranging in ages up to about 10. And from one week to the next you can see the improvements, and it's really nice to get them in that 6 weeks bash, because then you can see the improvement over those 6 weeks. So yes, for the children, especially with autism, you can really see an improvement. And yeah, mental health wise, I think lots of people who I've worked with over the years end up coming back because they just want that well-being feeling. So sometimes they just come back because they can, not necessarily because they need to. And certainly with the family visits, they tend to come 2 or 3 times a year as a family, and it's a family outing out. I think animals have as long as you treat them with respect and treat them as you would like to be treated yourself, then these animals completely trust you. If I'm having a bad day, I can say anything to my animals. They're not going to pass comment, they're not going to give me advice, they're just going to suck it up, and it makes me feel better to know that I can do that. Sometimes talking therapies aren't always the best option. So with the animals, they get time to spend with them, and just generally have a feeling of peace and happiness and of good well-being spending time with the animals.
What's your favourite animal here to have a cuddle with?
I like the guinea pigs because they can go on my lap, and as you can see I'm really close. I also like the chickens for the same reason. I like to feel them up close. Sometimes the chickens get up on my shoulder. 2 weeks ago I had 3 little chicks all over me. It was lovely. a very special moment was feeding the lamb, Tim, with milk with a bottle. And one day there were 2 little piglets that were 3 days old, and they were being rescued from their mother that morning. And Fiona I had to hold one and Fiona held one. We had to keep them warm because they were shaking with cold, so we kept them warm while we were chatting. So you have as I say, it's a magical combination really of the counselling, emotional therapy, plus the animals as well, and the two complement each other so well. I think seeing how the animals are looked after and how Fiona looks after them, I learn about that. I can see how all the animals are individuals. They really very much are. They've all got their own characters. And I think seeing how she looks after them and then me helping look after them as well in a small way helps me to focus on looking after myself as well. Want to get a picture of his face? There you go.
What I would say is that having something like a horse or a hobby or the animals can definitely make a difference to someone's mental health, and also for a certain age group, sort of your 11s to your 16s, it gives them a real sense of purpose. Even if it's a guinea pig in a cage, it gives them a sense of purpose because sometimes there doesn't seem to be any for them.
And has it sort of made you want to think about possibly a career in the future? And
yeah, I would like to do something like this, maybe sheep shearing in the future or something like that. Yeah.
If you have a consenting subscriber to the farm, someone that's never been there before, never heard of it, what would you say?
So I would say it is a tranquil setting for relieving any anguishes and increasing and improving your mental well-being.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
no, that was brilliant. Thank you.
That was really good. Cool.
Thank you.
It's alright, see you ready for the Oscars, yeah?
Give Kate a cup.